has a Huntington has a quad injury. Brendan Bates has an ankle injury. We'll get more information on those tomorrow. Obviously, that defensive performance was incredible. The 10 sacks, 3 by Miles, breaks his own Browns record. Pretty special just how all those guys were rushing. Just the D-line in general, just harassing. And then you don't get those sacks without great coverage in the back end. I thought there were a few coverage sacks. So really proud of those guys. I thought offensively, it was some good, some bad. Obviously wasn't perfect, but some big plays, particularly down the field. IB, Samp had a big play. And we need to run the ball better and more efficient, and that's true. But I thought the guys were fighting till the end. I appreciate that. Obviously, Shedeur in his first start to go out there and be able to make some plays, and like he is with all young players, these guys are learning. Every rep you learn from, and he'll learn from this game as well. And then special teams. I thought Corey was outstanding in this game. He flipped the field a couple times. I thought kept the ball away from their returners. And then I thought hitting that big field goal there by Dre was outstanding. And then Gage's big return. We felt like there may be a big return opportunity in this game, and there was. And so proud of these guys. We talked about all week about being resilient together, and I thought they did that, and they showed that. They played that way, and it's important to get that road win out here. So we got to build on it. But with that, I'll take any questions.
With the way Shedeur, do you feel like he's earned the opportunity to start this game?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that, Chris. Obviously, proud of him and proud of this offense, and there are a ton of things to learn from, but I'm just going to, worry about today.
Talk about the performance on the field. That's the natural question. What did you take from the sideline meetings during a timeout or in halftime? The conversations during the game that you absorbed?
I think, all our quarterbacks do a great job in game, having those conversations that you're having throughout the week as well. These guys are doing a nice job telling us what they're seeing. I think that's so important because they have a better angle than we do on the sideline. So he did a nice job. I thought he saw it clearly. With young players, are there going to be things that he can do better? Absolutely. But that's what it is when you're playing with young players. There's improvement to be made.
The big story, Shedeur Sanders, 11 of 20, passing 209 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. New on SportsCenter. Following his first career start, 1-0, Shedeur Sanders.
Once again, how y'all doing? Chilling, relaxing, thankful.
You were in this building with you and your father for media day. I asked the question to your father and followed up with you and went a little viral about feeling the pressure of having to perform at a different level. You've been like that your entire life.
Has it changed?
That's what I'm about to ask you. How'd you feel coming in? Is it changing the pro level?
I'm not gonna lie, I felt very relaxed. And half of that comes from preparing, studying, and knowing I got God on my side. So throughout all that, I had no worries. I didn't feel nervous or anything before the game because, he took all my worries and everything away.
Shedeur, just how do you summarize this performance? How do you feel like you're starting the year went for you?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Coming up here before y'all, 6-7 months ago, I couldn't tell you I'll be here. God, the only way I'm able to even get through everything, being able to see my family, that was important, and I'm happy they was here to be able to witness it. But without God, nothing possible, honestly, and I mean that truly and dearly. And everybody starts different places, and like I say, just because I didn't get the summer reps, just because I wasn't in the best situation, for me to be prepared to go out there and execute, like from a summer standpoint, that's how life is. Everybody's not in everybody's not in the best situation, but there's no excuse. You gotta go out there and perform. There's no choice, there's no question. Nobody cares if this was 1 week of prep. Who cares? So a lot of people want to see me fail, and that ain't gonna happen. you know, it ain't gonna happen.
Dad was in the house in Vegas after a late night difficult defeat for Colorado, and he got to see Shedeur get the win, and in doing so become the first Browns quarterback to win his first career start since 1995. Snaps a 17-game losing streak for the Browns and their quarterbacks in their debuts, which had been the longest streak by any team since 1950.
As opposed to drifting back, I believe he only took 1 sack the entire game, which is a massive improvement when you think about last week against the Ravens and even the final preseason game. I mean, in the final preseason game against the Rams, he took 5 sacks in 17 plays. So for him to come out here, only be sacked 1 time, he did throw 1 interception, they fooled him, and that's going to happen with a rookie quarterback, but he looked comfortable. He looked like he belonged. He looked like a starting quarterback.
He got some of those flashes that we were looking for, that is for sure. But again, team game, so let's get to some of it here, Ross, because there are things that this team does that is far beyond the record right now. The pass rush, it's about as good of a unit team-wise as you're going to see, led by Myles Garrett, who continues to close in on that season-long record. 10 sacks on the day, 7 different players credited with a sack or a portion of 1. What do they do up front outside of just Garrett that makes it so hard on protection groups?
Well, let's start with this. The Raiders' offense, I mean, they are a bad offensive line, probably the worst offensive line in the league. So we need to state that. But I think the biggest key to the Browns' success on defense this year has been the defensive tackles. Schwessinger has been unbelievable. We know about Myles Garrett. He's probably going to break the sack record. But what's really turned this defense from good to great has been that interior D-tackle rotation, whether it's Mason Graham or Michael Hall, Shelby Harris, certainly Malik Collins, who already has a career high in sacks. Those guys got a lot of pressure, a lot of push today. They help funnel things to Myles Garrett, and they're a big reason why the Browns probably have the best defense on a 3-8 team I can ever remember seeing.
It feels that way. They are a blast to watch get after a quarterback. And let's talk about that quarterback, or maybe Vegas at large here. A parting thought, Ross, because we were talking in the green room about the order of operations with this team. I don't know if you want to call it a rebuild or a reset, but it felt half-hearted. And then you spend premium capital on a quarterback, premium draft capital on a running back. Does it feel like things maybe are a little out of order right now, and foundationally other things need to change?
For the Browns or the Raiders?
For the Raiders, excuse me.
Yeah, you know, I think that they're in a really weird position, Joe, because Pete Carroll has that mantra of compete and win, and he's 74 years old. He's not trying to rebuild for the long haul. Meanwhile, they drafted a bunch of players after Ashton Genty that are more developmental players. Thornton at receiver, the 2 offensive linemen in the 3rd round, including Charles Grant, who's an FCS player. I love my FCS guys, but typically you're not expecting those guys to play right away. So it's one of those organizations where you wonder if the coaching staff and the front office is on the same page. There are some indications